Welcome back, everyone. Today we're diving deep into Amr Farag's Agility is the Antidote, a book that really tackles how organizations can not just survive, but actually thrive in this, increasingly AI-powered world.
Yeah, and it's really interesting, right? Because the book is kind of like looking ahead, anticipating those huge changes AI is bringing. It's not just the tech itself, it's like the whole way we adapt to it.
Exactly. And Amr Farag, he's not just some, armchair theorist.
Yeah.
With something like over 33 years in learning, development, talent development, and change management, he's really seen these changes firsthand.
He's like, look, to succeed in this new world, organizations got to become agile. It's like the antidote to all this disruption that AI is causing.
Totally. Right from the start, Farag hits us with this idea of an AI transformation mandate. It's not a suggestion. It's like a must-do.
But why, right, like why should you, our listener, care? Well, McKinsey predicts, get this, 800 million jobs could be automated by 2030.
800 million. That's just, that number is staggering. It's like, wow, this isn't some far-off sci-fi thing. This is happening now.
It really shows you how big this disruption is going to be. But BAT, there's also opportunity. Gartner predicts AI will actually create 2.3 million new W jobs by 2025. So this book is about understanding this shift, like where are the opportunities, and making sure you're on the right side of it.
It's almost like we're at a crossroads. One path, leads to being outdated. The other leads to like real innovation. And Farag's book is kind of like your guide, helping you pick the right path for success in the AI age.
And it's not just about reacting, right? It's about being proactive, shaping that future. Farag pushes leaders to rethink what success even means in this new world.
Think about Amazon, right? Like their drone delivery system. Just a few years ago, that was crazy talk. Now it's becoming real. Shows how AI can turn what we think is impossible into like the everyday.
Then there's Tesla with their self-driving cars. These companies, they're not scared to challenge what everyone else is doing, to push the limits of AI.
They've got that bold vision, the kind of thing this book is all about.
And they're constantly experimenting, trying things out, learning from when they fail and when they succeed. And that's a key takeaway, that whole mindset of adapting, trying new things.
I love that the book doesn't just talk about change in some vague motivational way. It gets into the nitty-gritty of how to do it. And one of those ways is sci-fi scenario planning.
Sci-fi scenario planning, yeah. Sounds kind of wild, right? Like something out of a movie.
It does. So what is it?
Imagine you're let's say, a car company, right? And your best product, the thing you're known for, is the internal combustion engine. But what if AI and self-driving cars change everything? This exercise forces you to think about that, to imagine a future where your best product is, like, obsolete.
Whoa. So it's about challenging those deep assumptions, like the ones we have about our own industries, our own products. It's about being ready to adapt, even if it means letting go of the things we're used to.
Exactly. And that can be a really tough thing to do, but it's also important for staying ahead of the curve in this AI world.
All this stuff can feel a bit overwhelming.
Right.
We're talking about these huge changes, possible job losses, rethinking whole industries. It's easy to just get stuck in fear.
Right. But Farag, he's like, adaptability is a mindset, first and foremost. It's about shifting your perspective from fear to, like, hey, this is an opportunity.
So it's about going from a fixed mindset, this is how it's always been done, to a growth mindset. Embrace change, see it as a chance to learn and grow.
And it's about building a culture where messing up isn't like the end of the world, but a chance to learn. He talks about companies like Google and Pixar. They actually have failure conferences. They analyze what went wrong and try to learn from it.
Failure conferences. Wow. I love that.
Right. These companies, they get it. They know you can't innovate without some failures.
Imagine a workplace where people aren't afraid to take risks because they know even if they mess up, they'll be supported, encouraged to learn from it.
Yeah. Exactly. It's about creating that safe space to experiment, to try new things, to challenge those old best practices that might actually be holding you back.
Because, let's be real, in the world of AI, sticking to the old ways can be a death sentence for a company.
Oh, for sure. Farag uses examples like Blockbuster, They totally ignored the whole digital streaming thing. And of course, taxis, they lost out big time to Uber and ride sharing.
Yeah, those are cautionary tales. They were giants in their industries, but they got complacent, stuck in their ways, and, well, they lowered the price.
It's like AI shines a light on our blind spots. It shows us where we're clinging to old practices and helps us see the opportunities we might be missing if we don't change.
It's like having a brand new lens to look at our businesses, even our own careers.
Yeah, it helps us find those hidden areas where we can grow and innovate.
But, okay, how do we actually make these changes?
Well, luckily, Farag doesn't just lay out the problem, right? He gives some solutions. And he does this by connecting AI disruption to those classic change management theories.
You mean like,
He talks about Cotter's 8-step process for leading change, Lewin's model of unfreeze, change, refreeze, and the 80 care model. But he presents them in a way that directly applies to AI.
so it's not just theoretical, it's about how to actually use these theories in the real world to deal with the challenges of AI.
Think of these theories as your toolkit for leading change. The book helps you pick the right tool, based on your company's size, its culture, its specific needs.
So it's like a custom approach to change tailored for each organization. That's cool. And one of the key things that comes up from these theories is agility.
The agile imperative, he calls it. He uses the music industry and how they struggled with Napster as an example of what happens when you don't adapt fast enough. They tried to fight the tide of change and, well, they lost control.
It's a story that really hits home, especially today when tech is changing everything so quickly.
It highlights how important it is to be agile, to adapt quickly to new situations.
And Frog doesn't just talk about it generally, right? He gets into the specifics of how to apply agile principles, the kind used in software, to your whole organization.
Yeah. Like Spotify, for example, they have these squads, small, self-managing teams that can move fast and adapt to what users want.
So it's about moving away from that traditional top-down structure, right?
Yeah.
Embracing something more flexible.
Right. And that leads us to another big idea. Farag talks about inclusive leadership.
Okay, inclusive leadership. Tell me more.
He's basically saying that when it comes to AI, you can't just force it on people from the top down. You need everyone on board.
Makes sense. It's about creating a culture where everyone feels like they can contribute, like they're part of the change.
He talks about middle management not as enforcers of the rules, but as bridge builders, helping everyone communicate and work together.
So it's about empowering everyone from the CEO to, the people on the front lines to be part of the solution. And he gives some great examples of how this works.
Like, there were these nurses who used AI to improve their schedules. It led to better patient care and happier nurses. And there were assembly line workers who suggested using image recognition for quality control.
Wow. So they were actually using AI to make their jobs better.
Exactly. It made things more efficient and reduced errors.
Those are awesome examples of what happens when you empower people. You get all this creativity and innovation.
And it all ties back to that idea of agility, creating an environment where everyone feels empowered to contribute, experiment, and adapt.
So it's not just about the tech, right? It's about building a culture that embraces change, encourages new ideas, and uses everyone's intelligence. But to do that, we need to change how we make decisions.
Yeah, traditionally, a lot of decisions were based on, gut feelings, experience, intuition. But with AI, we got to move past that and use data.
Data is the new boss.
Data is the new decision engine. AI gives us the tools to collect all that data, analyze it, and figure out what it really means.
So it's about making decisions based on evidence, not just a hunch.
Exactly. And Farag talks about specific KPIs, key performance indicators that are really relevant to AI. Things like how accurate things are, how much money you save, and how fast you can make decisions.
So you can actually measure the impact of AI, see real, tangible results.
Yep. And he imagines a future where everyone in the company, everyone, has access to the data they need to make good decisions. Imagine dashboards that give you real-time insights.
Everyone understanding how their work contributes to the big picture. I like that.
That's the power of using data to change things.
Okay, so it's not just about implementing AI. It's about creating a culture that embraces change, one that encourages innovation and one that uses the intelligence of everyone in the organization. But to do that, we need to change how we think about decisions.
Traditionally, yeah, a lot of decisions were made based on intuition, experience, gut feelings. But in the age of AI, we need to move beyond those subjective approaches.
Okay, so what do we do?
Embrace data-driven decision-making.
Love it.
Data is the new decision engine. And AI gives us the tools to collect all of that data, to analyze it, and to extract meaningful insights from it.
So are we talking about, taking the guesswork out of decision-making? Like grounding those decisions in actual data? data-driven evidence.
Exactly. It's moving away from subjective hunches to objective insights. And Farag, he highlights some specific key performance indicators, KPIs, that are really relevant to AI transformations.
Like what? Give me an example.
Well, we're talking increased accuracy rates, cost savings, and a reduction in the time it takes to make those decisions.
Okay, so you can actually see, you can measure the effects of actually implementing AI. You can see the results, those tangible results that really demonstrate the value that it brings to the organization.
Absolutely. And Farag, he envisions a future where data is democratized within the organization, where everyone, from the executives to the frontline workers, has access to the information they need to make smart decisions. Imagine, you have these dashboards that provide real-time insights, helping everyone understand the impact of their work and how they're contributing to the overall success.
That's the power of using data to transform things.
It is. It's about democratizing access to information, it's about empowering everybody to make a difference, and it's about creating a culture of continuous learning and improvement.
Okay, and that brings us to the book's emphasis on sustaining transformation. This isn't a one-time fix, right?
Right, it's not a one-time thing. Implementing AI, it's a journey. It takes commitment to keep learning and adapting.
It's not just about implementing the tech, it's about creating a culture that embraces change, that fosters innovation, and leverages the collective intelligence of the whole organization.
Yeah.
But to do that, don't we have to shift our thinking about how we make decisions? I mean, traditionally, so many decisions have been made based on, just gut feeling or experience or intuition. But in the age of AI, it feels like we need to move past those subjective approaches and embrace data-driven decision-making.
Data is the new decision engine, and AI provides us with the tools to collect data, analyze it, and extract meaningful insights from that data.
Okay, so it's really about using data to identify patterns, to see trends, to find those opportunities that we might otherwise miss, and it's about using those insights to make more informed, more effective decisions.
The book highlights specific KPIs, key performance indicators, that are particularly relevant to AI transformation.
Okay.
Look at things like increased accuracy rates, cost savings, and a reduction in the time it takes to actually make decisions.
These are all they're measurable outcomes that can really demonstrate the tangible value of AI implementation. So it's not just about adopting the technology for its own sake. It's about using it to actually drive some real business results.
Yeah. Exactly. And Farag envisions a future where everyone in the organization, from those executives to those frontline workers, they all have access to the data they need to make informed decisions.
Imagine having dashboards that provide real-time insights, helping everybody understand the impact of their work and contribute to the overall success of the organization.
That's the power of data-driven transformation. It's about democratizing access to information, empowering everyone to make a difference, and creating a culture of continuous learning and improvement. And that's where the book's emphasis on sustaining transformation comes in.
Because implementing AI, this isn't a one-time fix. It's an ongoing journey, requires a commitment to continuous learning and adaptation.
But it's not about, boring sit in a classroom kind of learning.
Right. He's talking about making it fun and engaging.
Yeah. He talks about things like gamification, AI challenges, and creating a culture where learning is seen as an exciting opportunity, not a chore. It's about fostering a love of learning, a thirst for knowledge that will help individuals and organizations thrive in this ever-evolving world of AI.
But what happens when AI inevitably disrupts certain roles? When it makes some jobs obsolete? I mean, this is a real concern.
It is, and Farag doesn't shy away from it. He offers practical advice on how to handle potential job displacement in an ethical and compassionate way.
So how do we do that? How do we do it ethically and compassionately?
He talks about the importance of financial reserves to provide a safety net for those employees who might be impacted. He encourages cross-training so individuals have the skills to move into different roles as needed. And he even discusses the role of outplacement services to help those who might be transitioning out of the organization.
So it's about recognizing that AI transformation has a human impact. It's our responsibility as leaders to try and soften that impact as much as possible.
Be prepared, be proactive, and above all, be compassionate.
It's about approaching AI transformation with a sense of responsibility. ensuring that everyone benefits from the advancements, not just a select few.
So it's not just about the technology, it's about the people. It's about creating a future where AI empowers all of us to achieve, even greater things. But that future requires us to be agile, to be adaptable, and willing to embrace the unknown.
It's about seeing AI not as this threat, but as like a catalyst for positive change.
Mhm.
And agility is the antidote. It gives us that roadmap to navigate this exciting, albeit challenging new world.
It really does.
It feels like, we're talking about like a whole new way of thinking. Instead of fearing change, we embrace it. But what does that look like in a company when we talk about, actually implementing AI?
That's the question, isn't it? And the book really stresses that getting the tech right, that's only one piece of the puzzle. Focusing on the people, that's just as important.
So it's not just like, oh, plug in this fancy AI software and everything will be perfect.
Nope, not at all. It's about finding that balance between human know-how and what the tech can do. AI should help us, not replace us. It's more like a team effort where both sides bring something to the table.
I get it. You need that human touch to guide the tech, make sure it's being used the right way. But how do you even start to integrate AI into a company that's already set in its ways? That seems, I don't know, kind of disruptive.
Farag talks a lot about taking a phased approach,
Mm-hmm.
Start small, maybe with a pilot project or two, test things out, see how AI can work in specific areas, and get feedback from the people using it.
So like dip your toes in before jumping in the deep end.
Exactly. This way, you can find those roadblocks early on, make changes along the way, and build confidence within the company. It's much better than trying to do everything at once.
I bet communication is key here, right? People need to understand what's going on, why things are changing, and how it will affect their work.
Oh, absolutely. Being transparent and communicating clearly, those are essential for building trust. Employees need to know how AI will affect their roles. And they need training and resources to, adapt to these new ways of working.
It's about giving them ownership, helping them feel like they're part of this change, not just like having it forced on them. But let's be honest, even with the best planning, some people are going to be anxious about AI. I mean, the media often paints it as like this job-stealing monster.
Yeah, that's true. But that's where the book's emphasis on reskilling and upskilling comes in. It's not about being afraid of AI. It's about learning the skills to work with it.
So instead of AI being a threat, you're saying it's a chance to learn new things, make ourselves more valuable.
Exactly. AI will automate some tasks, sure.
Yeah.
But it also creates new jobs, new roles, new ways of working. The key is to be proactive, to embrace lifelong learning. Think of it as future-proofing your career.
Okay, I like that. Much more positive way to look at it. But how do we even know what skills to learn? Technology changes so fast it's hard to keep up.
The book highlights data literacy as a core skill for the AI age. It's all about understanding data, being able to analyze it, draw insights from it, and communicate those insights effectively. That's going to be huge across all industries.
So even if you're not like a data scientist, you need some basic understanding of how data works.
Right. Data is what makes AI go, so being data literate means you can use that power to your advantage.
You mentioned earlier that Farag emphasizes data as the new decision engine. Can you talk more about that?
Well, in the past, so many business decisions were based on, intuition, gut feeling, whatever. But with AI, we can actually analyze tons of data and get real insights to help us make decisions.
It's like taking out the guesswork and using actual evidence.
Exactly. Moving from I think to I know, based on data. Farag even highlights specific KPIs, key performance indicators that matter in AI transformations.
Okay, give me an example.
We're talking about things like increased accuracy, cost savings, and faster decision-making. You can measure the impact of AI, see that it's making a difference.
You can actually see the results, the tangible results that show AI's value.
Exactly. Farag pictures a future where everyone in the company, from top to bottom, has access to data to make informed decisions. Imagine dashboards that give you real-time insights, helping everyone understand the impact of their work.
It's like empowering everyone to contribute at a higher level.
It is, and it's not just about raw data. He talks about using intuitive dashboards and data visualization tools to make it easy for anyone to understand, even if they're not a data expert.
So even if you're not a tech whiz, you can still benefit from all those data insights.
That's the goal. Make data accessible and actionable for everyone. And this ties into another important concept, explainability.
Explainability. What does that mean when we're talking about AI?
It means understanding how those AI algorithms, the brains of the operation, how they reach their conclusions. It's about transparency, knowing why AI is making certain decisions.
So it's not just blindly trusting the machine, it's understanding how it thinks.
Right. Explainability is crucial for building trust in AI, both inside companies and in society as a whole.
Okay, so AI is constantly evolving.
Mm.
What can we do to make sure all these changes we've been talking about are actually sustainable in the long run?
Well, that's where the book's focus on sustaining transformation comes in. And this isn't just about the tech, it's about creating a culture of continuous learning and adaptation.
So how do we do that?
One of the key things is continuous learning. Farag emphasizes that learning shouldn't feel like a chore. It should be engaging, exciting, relevant to the challenges we face.
He talks about gamification, AI challenges, making learning fun.
Right. It's about fostering that love of learning within the organization, encouraging people to always be expanding their knowledge and skills.
I love that. Make learning fun. But what about those jobs that AI will inevitably displace? That's a worry for a lot of people.
Farag talks about this head on. He gives practical advice on how to manage potential job losses in a way that's ethical and compassionate. Like, he talks about having financial reserves to provide a safety net for employees who might be affected.
So it's about being prepared, having plans in place to support those who might lose their jobs.
Yes. And he encourages companies to invest in cross-training so employees have a wider range of skills and can adapt to new roles. That way, if their job becomes automated, they have options within the company.
It's about creating a more flexible workforce, one that can evolve with the technology. But what about those who can't transition to new roles?
That's where outplacement services come in. Farag believes in providing support and resources to help those individuals find new opportunities outside the company. It's about recognizing that AI transformation does have a human cost.
So it's not just about profits, it's about treating people right.
Exactly. Ethical leadership in the age of AI. And this brings up another important part of sustaining transformation: feedback loops and iteration.
Meaning it's not just a one-time thing. You need to keep checking and adjusting your approach.
Right. Farag stresses that we need to constantly monitor how those AI implementations are doing, get feedback from users, and be ready to change course if needed.
Makes sense. You can't just assume your first plan will be perfect. Got to be flexible.
And he gives examples of companies who successfully changed their AI strategies based on feedback. Like Best Buy. They initially tried using AI to replace customer service agents.
I can see how that might not have gone over well.
It didn't. They ended up using AI to assist their agents instead, which worked much better.
So they listened to the feedback and changed their strategy.
Exactly. That agility is what's needed to succeed in the AI age.
This makes me think of another point Farag brings up. Ethical considerations throughout the AI process.
Absolutely. We need to be aware of how AI might affect things like employment, privacy, society as a whole. It's about making sure AI is used responsibly.
So it's not just about what we can do with AI, but what we should do.
Right. We have to consider the consequences and aim to use AI in a way that benefits everyone.
That's a powerful message, using AI for good. But how do we actually make sure that happens? How do we navigate all this and make sure AI is used ethically?
Well, that's where the last few chapters of the book offer some guidance. Farag goes into specific strategies and frameworks for dealing with those ethical challenges.
So it's not just about awareness, it's about real solutions.
Exactly. He talks about setting clear ethical guidelines for AI development and use within companies.
Like setting boundaries.
Exactly. And he stresses the need for diverse voices when developing AI systems.
Makes sense. If it's just a small group of people developing AI, it's going to reflect their biases.
Right. Bringing in different perspectives and experiences helps create more inclusive and equitable AI systems.
So AI should reflect the diversity of the people it's meant to serve.
Yes. And Farag says we need to constantly monitor and evaluate AI systems to make sure they're working right and not perpetuating harmful biases.
It's not a set it and forget it kind of thing. You got to be vigilant.
Exactly. AI is a powerful tool. It can be used for good or bad. It's our responsibility to make sure it benefits humanity.
It's about shaping the future of AI in a way that aligns with our values.
And Farag believes we all have a role to play. It's not just on tech companies or governments. It's up to all of us to be part of the conversation, to ask questions, and to demand ethical AI.
So it's a call to action, to be informed, engaged, and proactive.
Absolutely. The future of AI isn't set in stone. It's something we're creating through our choices. And agility is the antidote, gives us a framework to make those choices wisely.
That's a powerful thought. It's not about passively accepting whatever future comes, it's about shaping it. But this makes me wonder, what can individuals do to get ready for this future? How can you be more agile in your own career and take advantage of the opportunities that AI will bring?
That's the question we'll explore in our final segment.
Wow, we've really covered a lot in our deep dive into agility is the antidote, from how AI might impact jobs to the importance of, being adaptable and ethical. It's clear that AI isn't just some futuristic idea, it's already changing our world in big ways.
And this book, it does a great job of breaking down these complicated ideas and giving us practical advice on how to deal with it all. It's not about being scared of AI. It's about, understanding it and using it to our advantage.
We've talked about what organizations need to do, but now I'm kind of curious about, the individual. What can you do to become more agile in your own career? What really stood out to you from our discussion today?
I think the biggest takeaway is that whole idea of lifelong learning. AI is always changing, so we got to keep learning and adapting too. It's not like you learn a few skills and you're good for life, You got to be willing to grow and take on new challenges.
I remember when I first started really looking into AI, I was just overwhelmed by how much there was to learn and how fast it was all changing. But then I realized it's about focusing on those core skills that can be used in different areas.
Exactly. And Farag, he points out a bunch of skills that will be super important in the AI age. We talked about data literacy, understanding and using data, but there's also critical thinking, problem solving, creativity.
Those seem like, pretty universal skills, not just for AI.
True, but they become even more important as AI takes over those routine tasks. It frees us up to focus on those higher level things that machines can't do as well.
So it's like AI is pushing us to be more human.
In a way, yeah, to use our brains for the things that make us unique. But we got to be proactive, keep learning, and look for new challenges.
Okay, but where do you even start? There's so much stuff online, it's hard to know where to begin. What advice would you give to someone who wants to, become more AI savvy?
Start with the basics. Learn what AI is, how it works, what it can do in different fields. There's tons of free courses and resources online that can give you a good foundation.
And don't be afraid to, play around with it. Try those AI tools and platforms, see what they can do. You might be surprised how easy they are to use.
And as you learn more, think about how you can use those skills in your current job or, for your future career goals. How can AI help you work smarter or find new opportunities?
It's about seeing AI as a tool that can help you, not as a threat to your job.
And remember, this is a journey. AI is always evolving, so we need to keep learning and adapting. Embrace the challenge, stay curious, and never stop exploring.
That's inspiring.
Yeah.
It's not about fearing AI, but seeing it as an opportunity to grow and make things better. Agility is the antidote. It's a great guide for all of us, for companies and individuals, to navigate this new world.
I think the key takeaway for me is that AI isn't just about the tech. It's about us, about people. It's about how we use this tech, how we shape it, and how we use it to create a better future.
This has been a fantastic deep dive. I hope you've learned something new about AI and how much potential it has. What are you going to explore further? What steps will you take to become more agile in your own life?
This journey starts with you. Embrace the unknown, challenge yourself, and be open to those new possibilities.
We'd love to hear your thoughts. Share them with us online, and let's keep this conversation going. Until next time, stay curious.